Captain Lily Mason stood on the bridge of the Starlight Wanderer, her eyes fixed on the massive view screen that showed the distant galaxy NGC 7291. Even from this far away, she could see that something was wrong with it. Parts of the spiral arms were missing, and there was an unnatural darkness spreading through what should have been bright clusters of stars. "Captain, I'm picking up an unusual signal," said Communications Officer Peter Davis. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "It's not matching any known patterns in our database." Lily walked over to his station. "Let me hear it." When Peter played the signal, everyone on the bridge fell silent. It wasn't random space noise or the typical radiation patterns they often detected. This was structured, a repeating sequence that rose and fell like music, but with mathematical precision. "It's artificial," said Ethan Clark, the ship's science officer. Tall and thin with serious eyes, Ethan rarely showed excitement. But now, he leaned forward, his voice tight with controlled emotion. "Someone made this. Someone intelligent." "From a dying galaxy?" Lily asked. She brushed her short brown hair away from her face, a habit when she was thinking hard. "Is that even possible? Our data shows NGC 7291 is in advanced stages of some kind of deterioration." Ethan pointed to his own screen, which showed energy readings from the galaxy. "That's what makes this so remarkable. The deterioration isn't natural, at least not any natural process we've ever seen. And this signal, it's being broadcast outward, Captain. Like a message." "Can we decode it?" Lily asked. "Not from this distance," Peter said. Lily looked at the galaxy again. This was why they were out here, to explore, to discover. The Starlight Wanderer was humanity's newest long-range exploratory vessel, designed to push the boundaries of known space. "Plot a course closer to the signal source," she ordered. Navigator Kelly Jones looked up with concern. "Captain, Earth. Command specifically warned about radiation levels in that galaxy. They classified it as a danger zone." "We'll maintain safe distance protocols," Lily said. "But we need to get closer to understand what we're hearing. That signal didn't create itself." 3 days later, the Starlight Wanderer hovered at the edge of NGC 7291. From here, the destruction was obvious and horrifying. Entire star systems were simply gone, leaving strange voids in the fabric of the galaxy. Others were in the process of being pulled apart, their matter streaming away like water down a drain. The signal was stronger now, and Ethan and Peter had been working non-stop to decode it. "Captain," Ethan called from his station. "I think we've got something." The bridge crew gathered around as Ethan pulled up the translation on the main screen. It wasn't perfect. Many symbols and concepts didn't match anything in Earth languages, but the basic message was clear enough. Help, last survivors, harvesters coming, protect the innocent. "It's a distress call," said Ben Rodriguez, the tactical officer. His hand instinctively moved to where his weapon would be if they were on a ground mission. "Keep working on it," Lily ordered. "And move us closer to the signal source, Kelly, but carefully." As they approached the inner regions of the galaxy, the ship's sensors detected a small solar system that seemed to be somehow protected. While destruction raged all around it, this system, a red dwarf star with 3 planets, appeared intact. "The signal's coming from the second planet," Peter announced. "On screen," Lily ordered. The view screen showed a world of blue oceans and white clouds, not unlike Earth but smaller. As they watched, strange lights began forming in the planet's atmosphere. Not lightning or aurora, but organized patterns. "They've seen us," Ethan whispered. The ship's communication system suddenly activated on its own. The lights on the planet pulsed in time with the sounds coming through the speakers. A more complex version of the signal they'd been tracking. Then the sounds shifted, organized themselves, became words in English. "Visitors from Earth," said a gentle, echoing voice. "We are the Whispers. We have been watching your kind for centuries." The bridge crew exchanged shocked glances. "This is Captain Lily Mason of the Earth exploratory vessel Starlight Wanderer," Lily responded, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. "How are you able to speak our language?" We have observed many species across many galaxies, the voice replied. Language is patterns. Patterns are easily learned when you have existed as long as we have. A swirl of light appeared on the view screen, coalescing into a vaguely humanoid shape made of glowing energy. I am Guardian, spokesperson for what remains of the Whispers. We were once billions spread across this galaxy. Now we are few. Soon we will be none. What's happening to your galaxy? Lily asked. It is being consumed, Guardian replied, by a species we call the Harvesters. They do not communicate. They do not negotiate, they simply take. Ethan stepped forward. The destruction patterns we're seeing, that's their doing? Yes, said Guardian. They convert all matter to energy for their own use. Stars, planets, asteroids, living beings, all are simply resources to them. We fought them for many thousands of your years. But we have lost. Our civilization is gone. Then why stay? Ben asked. Why not escape to another galaxy? The light that was Guardian pulsed softly. Because of the Lumini, an image appeared on the screen. A small planet, the third in the system they were protecting. The view zoomed in to show forests of strange crystal-like trees. Moving among them were small beings that glowed with gentle light, somewhat like the Whispers, but clearly physical creatures, not energy beings. The Lumini evolved under our protection, Guardian explained. They are innocent. They have no technology to escape, no weapons to fight. We cannot abandon them to the Harvesters. Amy Pierce, the ship's xenobiologist, gasped softly at the sight of the creatures. They're beautiful, she said. They are the last thing beautiful in our galaxy, Guardian said. Our final message to the universe is this. We have failed to save ourselves, but perhaps you can save them. Wait, Lily said, feeling the weight of Guardian's words. Are you asking Earth to evacuate these beings? We are asking anyone who will listen, Guardian replied. The Harvesters have nearly finished with the outer regions. They will reach this system soon. We have used the last of our collective energy to shield these planets, but our strength fades. The image changed to show massive ships moving through space, each one larger than Earth's moon. Where they passed, stars dimmed and died. This is what comes, Guardian said. First for the Lumini, eventually for all life everywhere. The Harvesters do not stop, they do not change, they only consume. Silence fell over the bridge as the crew took in the enormity of what they were seeing and hearing. We need to report this to Earth Command, immediately, Lily finally said. This goes beyond first contact protocols. We understand, Guardian replied. But know this, time is short. The Lumini have perhaps one of your Earth months before our shields fail completely, and the Harvesters are already aware of your presence here. They will remember your world. The communication ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Set course back to Earth, Lily ordered quietly. Maximum speed, and download every bit of data we have on this situation. As the Starlight Wanderer turned away from the dying galaxy, Lily remained at the view screen, watching as NGC 7291 grew smaller. A civilization was ending before her eyes, and somehow humanity had just inherited its final mission. She didn't know if Earth would help the Lumini or not, but she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The return journey to Earth took 8 days. For 8 days, Lily barely slept. She spent hours watching the recordings from their encounter with Guardian and the Whispers. She studied the images of the Lumini, the strange glowing creatures that faced extinction. She watched the footage of the Harvester ships consuming entire star systems. When the Starlight Wanderer finally reached Earth, the United Earth Council was already waiting. The ship's transmissions had arrived ahead of them. Lily and Ethan stood before the semicircle of 12 council members in the Grand Meeting Hall in New Geneva. The walls were glass, showing the rebuilt city outside, a symbol of how humanity had overcome its own near-extinction events over the past century. Captain Mason, Science Officer Clark, said Council President Diane Powell. Your discovery is unprecedented, an intelligent species asking for our help to save another species. Frank Murphy, the Global Resource Director, leaned forward. He was a heavy man with a permanent frown. Let's be clear about what they're asking. They want us to send ships to a dying galaxy to rescue beings we've never met, while risking conflict with these harvesters who, by your own report, can destroy entire star systems. That's correct, sir, Lily said. But the Whispers shared technology with us that could help, and the harvesters may eventually become a threat to Earth regardless of what we do. Ethan activated a hologram showing the Lumini. We estimate there are roughly 3 million Lumini on their home planet. Their biology is remarkable. They photosynthesize but also have advanced neural systems. They're intelligent, though pre-technological. And we're supposed to relocate 3 million alien life forms to where exactly? Asked Murphy. We have uninhabited areas that could support them, Ethan replied. Their environmental needs are not that different from ours. The debate went on for hours. Some council members supported intervention on moral grounds. Others worried about the risks. The council adjourned without reaching a decision, promising to reconvene in 3 days. As Lily left the chamber, a message appeared on her communicator. Meet me at the old observatory. Midnight. Important. Admiral Foster. Later that night, Lily made her way to the abandoned observatory on the outskirts of the city. Admiral George Foster was waiting in the shadows. He was older, with gray hair and tired eyes that had seen too many conflicts. I couldn't talk freely in the council, he said without greeting. They're scared, Mason. Not just of the harvesters, but of the implications. If we acknowledge a moral duty to other species across the galaxy, where does it end? With doing the right thing, Lily said. Sir, I've seen what's happening in NGC 7291. The harvesters won't stop there. Foster nodded. I know. That's why I'm here. He handed her a data chip. This contains access codes to the experimental fleet at Jupiter Station. 7 ships with our newest drive systems. They were studying the technology patterns from the Whisper's original signal. Lily stared at the chip. What are you suggesting, sir? Nothing officially. But if someone were to take those ships to NGC 7291, they might be able to evacuate the Lumini before the council finishes debating. That would be mutiny, Lily said quietly. It would be humanity showing its best face to the universe, Foster replied. I'll deny this conversation ever happened. The next morning, Lily found Ethan in the ship's lab, still analyzing the data from the Whispers. You need to see this, he said, excited. He showed her a molecular model of a Lumini cell, reconstructed from the Whispers' data. Their genetic structure contains compounds that could revolutionize our ecological restoration projects. The Lumini don't just exist in harmony with their environment, they actively heal it. You mean they could help us fix the damage on Earth? Lily asked. And Mars, and every other world we're trying to make habitable, Ethan confirmed. Saving them isn't just a moral choice, it's potentially crucial for our own survival. 2 days later, the council reconvened. The debate was shorter this time, and the outcome was clear from the grim expressions. The United Earth Council has voted against military intervention in NGC 7291, President Powell announced. The risk to human lives is deemed too great, and our responsibility must first be to Earth's citizens. Lily stood. Madam President, may I speak? Powell nodded reluctantly. I understand the Council's concerns about risk, Lily said. But there's something you should all see. She activated her own hologram projector. It showed Ethan's research on the Lumini cellular structure, along with projections of how it could transform Earth's damaged ecosystems. The Lumini aren't just innocent beings deserving protection, she said. They may hold the key to solving our own ecological crisis, and if we let them die, we lose that forever. Murphy cut her off. Speculation. We can't risk human lives on maybes. Then I resign my commission, Lily said clearly. The room fell silent. And I will make this information public. All of it. The Whispers, the Harvesters, the Lumini, and the Council's decision to let them die. She walked out before anyone could respond. That night, Lily's public broadcast reached every corner of Earth. She showed everything. the dying galaxy, the Whisper's plea, the Lumini, and the approaching harvesters. She explained the potential benefits of the Lumini's unique biology, and she called for volunteers. "I'm going back," she said simply. "With or without official approval. I can't stand by and watch an innocent species die when we have the power to help them." By morning, her communicator was flooded with messages. Ship captains, scientists, soldiers, doctors, thousands volunteering. Public opinion had shifted dramatically overnight. People held signs in the streets. "Save the Lumini," and "Humans protect the innocent." The Starlight Wanderer was locked down by Earth authorities, but Lily wasn't worried. She had Admiral Foster's data chip, and she had her crew. Every single member had volunteered to return with her. 3 days later, 7 advanced ships broke. Orbit from Jupiter Station. The Defiance, with Lily in command, led the fleet. They carried supplies, medical equipment, and temporary habitat structures. Nearly 1,000 volunteers had managed to join the mission before authorities realized what was happening. As the fleet accelerated toward the jump point that would take them back to NGC 7291, Lily received one final transmission from Earth. It was from President Powell. "The Council remains officially opposed to this action," she said stiffly. Then her expression softened slightly. "But we will be monitoring your progress, Captain Mason. And we expect a full report when you return." With the Lumini, Lily smiled. It wasn't official approval, but it was tacit acceptance. And it was enough. "Set course for NGC 7291, she ordered. "Maximum speed." As the ships jumped into faster-than-light travel, Lily thought of Guardian and the Whispers still, holding their protective shield around the Lumini homeworld. She hoped they could hold on just a little longer. Behind her, Earth grew smaller, and then vanished as the fleet leaped toward a dying galaxy and a rendezvous with both mercy and danger. The fleet of 7 ships emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of NGC 7291. The view that greeted them was worse than before. In the short time since Lily had left, the destruction had spread. Entire regions that had been intact were now just empty space. "My God," whispered Kelly from her navigation station. "They're eating the galaxy faster than we thought." Lily stood from her captain's chair. "How long until we reach the Whisper's system?" 4 hours at maximum speed," Kelly replied. "Any sign of harvester ships in our path?" Ben studied the tactical display. "None detected yet, Captain. But our sensors can only reach so far with all the distortion in this galaxy." Lily nodded. "All ships maintain formation full speed ahead." As they moved deeper into the dying galaxy, they passed through regions of strange energy patterns. Stars that should have been stable were collapsing. Space itself seemed damaged. "Captain," Peter called from communications. "I'm getting the Whisper's signal again, but it's much weaker." "Put it through," Lily ordered. Guardian's voice came through, but it sounded strained, like a whisper indeed. "You returned. We did not expect." "We're here to help," Lily said. "We've brought ships to evacuate the Lumini." "Hurry," Guardian said. "Our shield, failing. Harvesters, nearly here." The communication cut out. Ethan looked up from his science station, concern clear on his face. "Their energy signatures are barely registering. They're using everything they have left to maintain that shield." "Then we don't have much time," Lily said. "All ships increase speed, prepare evacuation protocols." As they approached the Whisper system, they finally saw the harvesters. 5 massive ships, each one shaped like a hollow sphere with strange appendages extending outward. They were positioned just outside the faint energy shield that surrounded the system. "They're testing the shield," Ben said, watching the tactical display. "Looking for weaknesses." "Can they detect us?" Lily asked. "I think they already have," Ben replied. "One of them is breaking away from the others, coming in our direction." Lily made a quick decision. "All ships, battle formation. The Defiance will engage the approaching harvester. The rest of you, get to the Lumini planet and start the evacuation." "Captain," Ethan said quietly. "Based on what we've seen of their technology, we can't defeat even one harvester ship. We don't need to defeat it, Lily said. We just need to distract it long enough for the evacuation to begin. As the other ships broke away toward the Lumini planet, the Defiance turned to face the approaching harvester. The size difference was laughable. The Earth ship was like an ant facing an elephant. "Open a channel," Lily ordered. "Let's try talking first." To everyone's surprise, the harvester responded. A strange mechanical voice filled the bridge. "Earth vessel, you interfere with resource collection. Depart immediately." "We're here for the Lumini," Lily replied. "We're taking them to safety." "Irrelevant," the harvester responded. "All matter in this galaxy is scheduled for processing. Biological distinctions are meaningless." "Not to us," Lily said firmly. "The Lumini are under our protection now. You have 10 of your minutes to leave this system," the harvester replied. "After that, you will be processed with all other matter." The communication cut off. Lily looked at Ben. "Options?" "Limited," he admitted. "Their weapons technology is far beyond ours, but I've been studying the data from the Whispers. The harvesters have a specific energy signature they use to break down matter. If we can match that frequency and reverse it, we could disrupt their harvesting process," Lily finished. "Do it." While Ben worked with the engineering team to modify their weapons, Lily checked on the evacuation progress. The other ships had reached the Lumini planet and were deploying shuttles to the surface. Amy Pierce, the xenobiologist, sent back the first images of the Lumini up close. They were about the size of human children, with translucent bodies that glowed from within. They moved with fluid grace and communicated through patterns of light that pulsed across their skin. "They understand what's happening," Amy reported. "They're scared, but they're cooperating. We're using light patterns to communicate basic instructions." "How many can you evacuate?" Lily asked. "Maybe 500,000 per ship," Amy said. "We'll need to make multiple trips." "We might not have time for that," Lily warned. "Work as fast as you can." The 10-minute deadline passed. The harvester ship facing the Defiance began to move forward, its strange appendages extending toward them. "They're firing!" Ben shouted. A beam of energy shot from the harvester, but it wasn't a conventional weapon. Instead of explosive damage, it began to pull the outer hull of the Defiance apart at the molecular level. "Shields failing," Ben reported. "Hull integrity at 92% and dropping." "Fire the modified torpedoes," Lily ordered. 3 torpedoes shot from the Defiance toward the harvester. They exploded against its hull, creating a peculiar ripple effect. The harvester's attack beam faltered. "It's working!" Ben exclaimed. "The reversed frequency is disrupting their harvesting technology." "Keep firing," Lily ordered. "We need to buy more time." Meanwhile, on the Lumini planet, the evacuation was proceeding. The Lumini moved onto the human ships in orderly lines, their bodies glowing with patterns that the human scientists were beginning to recognize as expressions of gratitude. Suddenly, a new voice came through the communication system, Guardian, but weaker than before. "Captain Mason," the voice said. "The other harvesters, breaking through our shield. Too many. Cannot hold." Lily looked at the tactical display. The other 4 harvester ships were now pressing against the energy shield. Around the system, the shield was visibly collapsing in places. "We need more time," Lily said. "Guardian, can you direct your shield's remaining energy to just protect the planet?" "Yes, but not for long," Guardian replied. "Perhaps 1 hour." "Do it," Lily said. "We'll handle the harvesters." The energy shield around the star system collapsed except for a tight bubble around the Lumini planet. Immediately, the harvester ships began moving in. "All ships," Lily broadcast. "Defensive formation around the planet. Use the modified weapons, frequencies." The human fleet repositioned, forming a barrier between the harvesters and the Lumini planet. The Defiance, damaged but still fighting, joined them. "Prepare for battle," Lily said quietly, "and speed up that evacuation." As the harvesters approached, Lily felt a strange calm. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing an enemy that consumed entire galaxies. but they were also standing between that enemy and an innocent species that couldn't defend itself. In that moment, she understood what Guardian and the Whispers had been doing for thousands of years, standing as a shield for those who needed protection no matter the cost. "All weapons ready," Ben reported. "Fire," Lily ordered. The human ships unleashed everything they had using the frequency modifications Ben had developed. The harvesters slowed, clearly affected by the attack, but they kept coming. The battle for the Lumini had begun, and with it perhaps the first battle for the future of all life in the universe. The battle in space around the Lumini planet was unlike anything the human crews had ever experienced. The harvesters did not fight like humans. They did not use weapons designed to destroy. Instead, they tried to pull the human ships apart molecule by molecule to consume them as resources. The modified weapons on the human ships slowed the harvesters but did not stop them. Two of the smaller Earth vessels were already badly damaged, their outer hulls being stripped away layer by layer. On the bridge of the Defiance, Lily watched the tactical display with growing concern. "Status of the evacuation?" she asked. Peter, check the incoming reports. 3 ships have loaded as many Lumini as they can safely carry. They're ready to leave, but can't break through the harvester line. And the planet? Still over 2 million Lumini waiting to be evacuated. Peter said grimly. Lily made a quick decision. Order the loaded ships to form up behind us. We're going to punch a hole through the harvester line. They need to get those Lumini to safety. What about the rest? Ethan asked quietly. We'll come back for them, Lily said, hoping it wasn't a lie. The Defiance led the charge, firing continuously at the weakest harvester ship. The 3 fully loaded evacuation ships followed close behind. For a moment it looked like they might make it through. Then 2 more harvester ships appeared, moving in from the edge of the system. Where did they come from? Kelly gasped. They must have been processing other parts of the galaxy, Ben said. They've detected our attack and called for reinforcements. The new harvester ships moved to cut off the escape route. The human fleet was now completely surrounded. At that moment, Guardian's voice came through the communication system again. It was barely audible now, a whisper of a whisper. Captain Mason, Guardian said, we have a plan. Bring your ship to the planet's surface, the place where the light meets the sea. Guardian, we're in the middle of a battle, Lily replied. We can't break away. Please, Guardian said. It is our final gift, our last act. Lily looked at her crew, then at the tactical display showing their increasingly desperate situation. Kelly, set course for the coordinates Guardian is sending. Ben, give us whatever cover you can. The Defiance broke away from the battle, diving toward the Lumini planet. 2 of the harvester ships immediately moved to pursue them. They're following us, Ben warned. Drawing them away from the evacuation ships but putting us in direct danger. Keep going, Lily ordered. Full speed to the surface. As they entered the planet's atmosphere, they saw the meeting place Guardian had described. A beach where a forest of crystal trees met an ocean that seemed to glow with the same light as the Lumini themselves. The Defiance landed on the beach. Lily, Ethan, and Ben rushed outside, not knowing what to expect. What they found was Guardian, not just a voice or a signal now, but a physical manifestation of pure energy hovering above the sand. Around Guardian were dozens of similar energy forms, the last of the Whispers. You came, Guardian said, the voice stronger now that they were face to face. Good. We have little time. What's your plan? Lily asked. For millennia we fought the Harvesters, Guardian explained. We learned their ways, their weaknesses. We created weapons, but could never deploy them effectively once our numbers dwindled. Guardian gestured toward the Defiance. Your ship's design, compatible with our energy signatures. We can join with it, temporarily. Ethan stepped forward. Join with our ship? You mean merge your energy with our systems? Yes, Guardian said. One final act before we fade completely. We will empower your weapons, your shields, give you chance to save the remaining Lumini. What will happen to you? Lily asked, though she already suspected the answer. We will cease, Guardian said simply. But our energy will not be wasted. It will protect the innocent, as was always our purpose. Before Lily could respond, the tactical communicator on her wrist beeped urgently. Captain, came Peter's voice. The harvesters that followed us are entering the atmosphere. ETA 3 minutes. We must decide now, Guardian said. Lily looked at the energy beings, the last survivors of a once great civilization, now offering to sacrifice their very existence for a chance to save others. Do it, she said softly. Guardian and the other. Whispers began to move toward the ship. As they touched the hull, they didn't bounce off or stop. They passed through it, their energy forms spreading throughout the ship's systems. Lily, Ethan, and Ben raced back inside. The ship's interior was glowing, every panel and display pulsing with new energy. What's happening? Ben asked as they reached the bridge. The ship's power levels are off the charts, Kelly reported. Weapon systems are reconfiguring themselves. Through the view screen, they could see the 2 harvester ships descending through the clouds, their massive forms blocking out the sky. Get us back in space, Lily ordered, and prepare to fire everything we've got. The Defiance lifted off, rising to meet the harvesters head-on. As they approached the enemy ships, Lily felt a strange presence in her mind, gentle but unmistakable. We are with you, Guardian's voice said inside her head. Fire now. Fire all weapons, Lily commanded. The energy that burst forth from the Defiance was unlike anything they had ever seen. It wasn't just the ship's conventional weapons. It was pure, whisper energy, focused and directed. Where it struck the harvester ships, their matter-consuming technology simply stopped working. It's affecting their core systems, Ethan reported, watching the readings. They can't process matter while under attack. Keep firing, Lily ordered, and get us back to the rest of the fleet. The Defiance pushed past the disabled harvester ships, racing back to the main battle. When they arrived, the situation had worsened. One human ship had been completely taken apart. The others were barely holding on. All ships, fall back behind the Defiance, Lily broadcast. We have new weapons capabilities. With the Whispers, energy powering their systems, the Defiance engaged the remaining harvester ships. One by one, their harvesting technology was disabled. For the first time, the harvesters began to retreat. Quick, Guardian's voice said in Lily's mind. Our energy fades. Complete the evacuation now. All ships capable of carrying passengers, Lily ordered. Return to the surface and load as many Lumini as you can. We don't have much time. 4 ships, including the Defiance, landed back on the Lumini planet. The glowing beings moved quickly now, sensing the urgency. Earth crews worked alongside them, guiding them onto the ships. As the last of the Lumini were loaded, Lily felt Guardian's presence in her mind growing weaker. Thank you, Guardian's voice whispered. You stood for the defenseless when we could, no longer stand. Remember us. Remember our warning. I will, Lily promised aloud. We all will. The glow throughout the ship began to fade. The enhanced power levels dropped back to normal. The Whispers had given everything they had. All ships loaded and ready for departure, Peter reported. Set course for Earth, Lily ordered. Maximum speed. As the fleet of Earth ships lifted off from the Lumini planet for the last time, they saw the harvester ships regrouping in the distance. The Whispers' final gift had bought them time, but it wouldn't last forever. Behind them, the Lumini homeworld grew smaller, then disappeared as they jumped to faster-than-light travel. On board each ship, the rescued Lumini watched with glowing patterns of both sorrow and hope crossing their luminescent bodies. The mission had succeeded, but at a price. The Whispers were gone, and the harvesters remained. The journey back to Earth took 12 days. During this time, the human crews got to know the Lumini better. The glowing beings learned simple English words, while humans began to understand the light patterns that made up the Lumini language. Amy, Pierce spent every waking hour with them, amazed by their gentle nature and intelligence. They're adapting so quickly, she told Lily during a daily briefing, and they're helping us understand their biology. It's even more remarkable than we thought. How so? Lily asked. The way they process light isn't just for energy, Amy explained. They can actually repair damaged environments. The crystal forests on their home planet. Those were once dead zones polluted by some ancient disaster. The Lumini restored them. Lily thought about Earth's damaged regions. The dead zones and oceans, the wastelands from old wars. The areas still recovering from climate disasters of the previous century. Could they do the same on Earth? I believe so, Amy said. And they want to. They understand we saved them. They want to help in return. As they approached Earth, the ships received a message from President Powell. The rescue mission had been closely followed by people all over the planet. Public opinion had shifted dramatically. The Council had voted again, this time unanimously approving the creation of a sanctuary for the Lumini. We've prepared the Southern Pacific Reserve, Powell explained. It's an archipelago of islands that were abandoned after the rising seas a century ago. We've built temporary structures there, but the Lumini will be free to reshape it as they wish. When the fleet arrived, in Earth orbit they were met not with arrest warrants but with a hero's welcome. Ships from every nation escorted them down to the Pacific Sanctuary, where the Lumini would make their new home. The first Lumini to step onto Earth soil was one that Amy had named Bright Song. Its body glowed with patterns of blue and gold as it touched the sand of the beach. Other Lumini followed, their lights creating a beautiful display that needed no translation. It was clearly joy and gratitude. 1 month later, Lily stood before the United Earth Council again. This time, she wasn't alone. With her were Ethan, Ben, Amy, and a Lumini that had taken the name Sky Glow, who now spoke basic English. The Lumini have settled well, Lily reported. Already the islands show signs of healing. Dead coral reefs are coming back to life. Plants that couldn't grow there before are flourishing. And they've shared knowledge with us, Ethan added. Not technological knowledge. The Whispers kept them deliberately low-tech to hide them from the harvesters. But biological knowledge that's centuries beyond our own. Sky Glow stepped forward, its light pulsing gently as it spoke. We thank humans. You save us when our guardians could not. Now we help your world grow strong. President Powell smiled, and we're grateful for that help. But there's still the matter of the harvesters. Captain Mason, before the Whispers passed, did they share any information that could help us defend ourselves if the harvesters ever come here? Lily hesitated. Not directly. But when they joined with our ship, something was left behind. A data core in the Defiance's main computer. We've only just begun to decode it. What kind of data? Asked Frank Murphy, whose opposition to the rescue had faded after seeing the benefits the Lumini brought. Everything, Lily said simply. The entire history and knowledge base of the Whispers' civilization. Their technology, their science, their art, and everything they learned about the harvesters over thousands of years of fighting them. So we can defend ourselves, Powell said with relief. Maybe, Lily replied, but there's something else you need to know. She activated a holographic display showing a star map. This is our galaxy, and these, she pointed to several blinking points at the edges, are energy signatures matching the harvesters. They're still far away, but they're there. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Whisper's final warning wasn't just about saving the Lumini, Lily continued. It was about what's coming. The harvesters don't stop, they consume galaxy after galaxy, and eventually they'll reach ours. How long do we have? Powell asked. Decades, maybe centuries, Ethan answered. It's hard to predict their movements. Exactly. But they know about us now. They know we interfered. Sky Glow's light patterns shifted to deep blue. Harvesters remember. Harvesters do not forgive. So what do we do? Murphy asked, his face pale. We prepare, Lily said firmly. We study the Whispers' data. We learn everything we can about the harvesters. We develop better defenses. And we look for other species out there who might help us fight them when the time comes. And we honor Whisper's gift, Sky Glow added. They die so others live. That is highest purpose. 2 years later, Lily stood on a cliff overlooking the Lumini Sanctuary. The changes were remarkable. What had been barren islands were now lush with life. Crystal formations similar to those on the Lumini homeworld were beginning to grow along the shorelines, glowing softly at night. Amy joined her, carrying a small device. "They're ready for you at the memorial," she said. Lily nodded and followed, her to the center of the largest island. There, humans and Lumini had gathered around a structure made of earthstone and Lumini crystal. It was the 2nd anniversary of the rescue and the official dedication of the Whispers Memorial. As Lily stepped onto the small stage, she looked out at the gathered faces, human and Lumini together. Behind her stood Sky Glow and several other Lumini who had become unofficial ambassadors for their people. 2 years ago, Lily began, a dying galaxy sent us a warning. Never stand between humans and the defenseless. The harvesters learned that lesson, but paid it no heed. Today we honor those who gave everything to save a species not their own, the Whispers. She pressed a button on the control panel before her. The crystal elements of the memorial began to glow, forming patterns that matched the energy signatures of Guardian and the other Whispers. It was as close as they could come to preserving what the Whispers had looked like. "We don't know when the harvesters will come," Lily continued. "But thanks to the Whispers, we won't face them unprepared or alone. Their knowledge lives on in our computers. Their spirit lives on in our determination, and their final warning lives on in our hearts." As the sun set, the memorial glowed brighter, its light reaching up toward the stars. Among those stars somewhere, the harvesters were moving, consuming, approaching. But Earth would be ready, and if other innocent species stood in the harvester's path, they would find humanity waiting there too, ready to stand between the defenseless and those who would harm them, just as the Whispers had done. It was the legacy of a dying galaxy, a final warning that humanity had taken to heart, and a promise for the future of all life in the universe.